Oh, the agenda? Yeah. I'd like to call the City of Portage, I almost said Redevelopment Commission meeting, City Council meeting, August 7th, 2018. Councilperson Oprisco, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Many of you may have read or heard about the tragic accident with the two children behind Woodland Village today. And I can tell you that, first of all, a positive update is the I believe it's a little girl, seems to be she's in critical condition. I don't want to talk too much, so please don't quote me on anything, but it seems like she may make it. So I want everybody to I'm just grateful for that. And then secondly, keep our first responders. These are the times that we really need to remember what our first responders see and deal with on a, thankfully it's not a regular basis, but something like this is seared on their conscience for the rest of their life. And we've got, just so that the council knows, they're receiving counseling and they're getting everything that they need. All the resources have been given to them, and Chief Pfeiffer and Chief Williams to make sure that they're taken care of and attended to as they're dealing with this horrific situation. And just keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. I wanted to say that before you came up here, Pastor Hendon. Pastor Hendon, come on up and lead us in prayer, and please, all of us, give us some encouraging words as we're thinking about those children and our first responders.
Yeah, let's just pray. You know, there's a time for sorting it all out. But Father, tonight we bow our hearts for your comfort and your strength and just your help. Lord, we do pray for that family. And God, my heart just goes out to that family and that desperate feeling that they feel, and that hurt and that grief. And I pray for the first responders. I pray for our community, God, that looks at that and all kinds of questions and things arise. But tonight, Lord, we just ask for your help. We ask for your presence to overshadow each one. We ask for your wisdom to fill us, Lord God, in this time where we don't have answers. We just don't know. But today we do know that, God, you are God, and we trust you, and we put our faith in you, and we thank you for how that you're going to use this tragedy somehow to rally and to raise up, God, people to do things in heroic kinds of ways, just like the first responders did today. And we so appreciate them. We appreciate what they do and what they represent to this community. I thank you for this meeting tonight, for the leaders, for the council, for the mayor. I thank you, God, for this community. I pray, God, that you'll bring this community closer, God, in these times, that we will realize that we can make plans and we can do lots of things, but when it comes down to it, there's this gut level connection that's needed, especially for times like this. God, we just thank you that tonight you'll guide and you'll bless the city, bless the leaders in this city as they gather, that we'll have your heart for this city. God, we pray over this city daily. We pray for your blessing and your favor to come upon each one. We pray for the leaders in this city daily. We pray, God, for your grace to be upon us. I pray, God, tonight that you will touch each and every heart here. And God, that we will look to you. And when there are no answers, we'll just simply trust. And I just thank you for that. I thank you for your promises that we stand on today. In Jesus' precious name.
Amen. I also, I don't know, clarity to the story is also very helpful. And it's times like these that the press is very important.
And I would like to add, I spoke to one of the little girls' aunts about an hour ago.
Sure.
And the little girls are waiting talking.
Okay, so thank you. So I think that what I'm getting at is this is where everybody, this is the time where that village statement comes to reality, and it's important that we all know the facts and make sure that those are getting out, as the social media generation has just turned into mayhem. And so thank you for getting the clarity out. And I don't know if the Post has even put a story out yet, but I'm sure they'll work on it as well. So thank you, and just make sure everybody keep this in your thoughts and prayers.
That's right.
All right. Did we call a roll yet? Call a roll.
Councilperson Modesto?
Here.
Councilperson Clem?
Here.
Councilperson Williams?
Here.
Councilperson Gannon?
Here.
Councilperson Zilli? Here. Councilperson Lynch?
Here.
Councilperson Prisco?
Here.
We have the minutes from the previous meeting. Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Did you say deny or did you say
No,
aye?
you said aye.
I thought you said
I don't
deny.
think Sue voted.
It sounded
I
like
said
yes.
No.
Under communication, correspondence, and announcements from the mayor, one of the things Friday, there's a couple things that I wanted to kind of talk about, because it was really kind of a neat experience. My wife, the previous 2 weeks ago on Saturday, rode the kids on the bikes to Dunkin' Donuts, and then ended up playing at Hannah's Hope on their way back. And so they convinced me to go and get on a bike. I haven't been on a bike in a long time. They convinced me to get on a bike and do the same thing a week later. And I just can't explain to you how proud I am of all you and your help. And what an amazing change that's taken place. And, you know, you get to go to concerts there. You get to go to a lot of events. This was just a time with my family that I won't forget. And you're sitting at Dunkin' Donuts talking to everybody, and then getting to go to the park and play with the kids. And so many people have had a hand in that. And I just, again, wanted to say thank you. What a really neat thing. On the way there, poor Randy got a call on Monday after going there. They're cleaning up, Scott, they're cleaning up the path, getting there under the bridge. They're cleaning all that up, making sure it's easy for people to get to. But what a really neat thing. And I just wanted to tell you. And then Friday night was another just amazing experience. I don't know if any of you got to attend the Northwest Indiana Symphony at West Beach. It was absolutely unbelievable. There were probably about 3,000 people there. And the backdrop of the symphony and the lake, you couldn't see the lake, but the dunes and the beachscape, and listening to the songs that everybody was playing. But also knowing at the same time that there was another full field in downtown Portage with a different choice and a different set of music going on, and people packing that out. And then I had a relative in town, and I had to show off a little bit after we went to the concert. I drove by the movie in the park, which I think was Transylvania going on, from what I could tell. And it was packed, you know, just a packed park. And the kids were still in the splash pad at 9:30, you know. It was just really neat to see. The Redevelopment Commission has commissioned DLZ to come back in and help us again. Make sure we program because now we're running out of space up there, and making sure that we get every square foot plan properly and get it really, because changes have taken place. I don't think anybody envisioned a park in that one section that we put it in. So they're working on that. So the Redevelopment Commission is helping with that. But I just wanted to tell you, it was really a cool week to see all those things going on.
I think the best part of it was you on your bike with those training wheels.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Mark, I thought you were going to say Speedos.
I can't get into my padded shorts anymore. But those are some big training. But it's just something that it was just something to share with everybody because it's just a lot of fun, and it just, sometimes you forget what's taking place, and there's so many things going on in the city. I don't want to do a bunch of department head reports, but I don't know if you see the street department out there crack sealing, the PD. I mean, the city's clean. The utility department sweeping. The city's clean. It's nice. The new LED lights going down Willow Creek Road. We're getting ready to do them in downtown. Just a lot of different things taking place that are really exciting, and I just want to tell everybody thank you. We're working.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And those are my announcements. And Chris, do you have a report?
So we'll talk later when we do the advertisement for the 2019 budget.
Okay. So we have reports from city officials. Is there anybody that has any questions from any of the city officials from the council?
Yeah, I do.
Sure.
For Steve. When is the compost area open at the street department? What are the times?
The drop-off times at the street department are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And 10 to 2 on Saturday.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was a Saturday option. Okay.
Yeah, we are open 10 to 2 on Saturday.
Have you been seeing a lot of traffic coming through to drop stuff off and get stuff? The compost?
Yeah, since we cleaned that compost up last year, it's going out of there by the truckload and trailer load. The citizens have come and got it. It's clean now. They see what it's doing for their gardens. They're all out of there by the truckload. So we've got some left at the north end we're going to be bringing over, so we're not running out. If you need some more, come on down and we'll load you up.
Randy, I wanted to ask this because I thought we had talked about this. Are we ahead? Are we now getting into previous year's compost that we never touched?
We've got a small pile at the compost site from years past, but we're caught up.
So the point is one of the problems that we had, and Sue knows this, is we couldn't get rid of the compost. Right. And it was just stacking up on us. And the point being is that now that the residents know about this and are utilizing it, we're actually getting rid of some of the compost, which is something it's been a problem for us.
And it was the help from utility also that helped us rent the screen to clean all of the compost. Because when we do the compost, it's all the leaves we picked up. It's full of bags and garbage and everything else. Yeah. So we took it another step and cleaned it all up, and now it's ready to put right in your garden. It's good stuff. Anybody else?
I'd like to make actually applaud you, Steve. You do an awesome job with your crew and all the forces down there at that street department. I talked to a few of them and asked some questions about different things. And I'm the liaison, so I feel that I should be able to do that without a problem. And I get awesome responses from everyone. Anyone I talk to, no matter what they're out there doing, you're out there to support them, cheer them on, get them applause, get them what they need. The tools is the most important part of the job. If you got to have good tools to do an adequate job in a timely fashion. And you seem to be accomplishing that for them, and I think
I appreciate that, Pat, and just so you recognize it, it sounds like you do. We have a lot of assets down there at the street department. Our very important,
yes, we do.
Most important asset are our 65 employees.
That's right.
And
they got to have tools.
They do a good job about every day. They do a good job for our citizens.
Yes, they do.
They need to. They're the ones to be recognized.
I asked you to pass that on, but they got to have the right tools in order to do the job, though.
With your help, we're getting them better tools every time we turn around.
Are you all ready for leaf pickup starting here in a couple of months? A couple of weeks?
We started rebuilding our leaf vacs and getting ready. We'll be on top of it again.
Good.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Yeah, good job down there, Steve. Good job. Tell the guys, good job.
Okay.
We appreciate what they do down there.
That concert sounds like they're having fun down there.
Randy, good job too.
Assistant Chief Uselek had some updates. Go ahead, Chief.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Just a couple of short announcements. First, we have a swearing-in ceremony Monday, the 13th at 7 p.m. at the police department for a couple of officers, if anyone would like to attend. We also have 2 recent hires at the academy right now. We had to cancel National Night Out tonight, obviously because of the weather. Just so everybody's updated on why that happened. Next week, we have 2 employees graduating from Northwestern Staff and Command School. And just something from me to y'all, is if y'all know what kind of a little bit better, today's National Purple Heart Day.
Thank you.
Tom Beck.
Yes. Thank you.
Ted, thank you for your service.
Yes, Ted, thank you.
Introduction of ordinances, we have yard waste in the streets.
Ordinance number 18, an ordinance of the City of Portage, Indiana, amending illicit stormwater discharge. Be it, it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, Ordinance Amendment, Chapter 42, Division 5, Section 187, entitled Discharge Prohibitions, Exemptions, and Requirements shall be amended by adding to the subsection A the new paragraph in its entirety.
Motion to suspend. Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Naprisco?
Yes.
Adopt. Okay, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there discussion?
Just a quick clarification. What is other debris?
Yard waste.
Okay, so this is, well,
Trees, shrubs.
We use the word rubbish.
no, my question is like on bulk pickup days, if you put it in the street, are you violating this ordinance?
That's different. That's
why I'm asking.
Put it on the side of the street.
There's an ordinance in there too, and that's already covered in the other ordinance.
You don't put it in the street anyway, you should put it on the side of the street.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further
You
discussion?
gonna give us clarification?
I don't think you need it. Looks like we got the vote.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli? Yes. Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Naprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Tree maintenance.
Ordinance number 18, an ordinance of the City of Portage, Indiana, amending Chapter 54, Article 4 of the Municipal Code entitled Property Maintenance. Be it, and is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1. Ordinance Amendment, Chapter 54, Article 4, Section 79, entitled Duty of Maintaining Private Property shall be amended by adding a new section, subsection I, to the subsection entitled Property to read as follows. I. Trees and shrubs which extend over any public road or street shall be maintained so that there is clearance of at least 15 feet over the road or street. Let the record show that this is read in its entirety. Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli? Yes. Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Naprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion?
Question.
Go ahead, John. You were first.
Ladies first.
It doesn't say, it says shall be maintained so that there is a clearance of at least 15 feet. Shall be maintained by whom?
By whom?
You want to say that?
It says the property.
Property owner?
It says above it.
It says it above it, because
All
I
right,
said
I
question.
just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, and remember, this is in addition to another current ordinance, so it's more
It
clear.
is a
than-
property owner.
So if this is not complied with, what's the mechanism on
The
making them do
field
it?
division of the Utility Services Board would enforce it. So there's a fine in our general provision of our ordinances.
Okay.
I think it's $50 for the first offense and up to $2,500.
So would this be like grass height? You get a warning to do it. If you don't do it and they come back 10 days later or whatever it is,
Yes,
then we'll do it and assess you a fine,
yes.
just like grass. Okay.
What is it now?
Is there like a clearance limit now?
I don't think so.
Nothing on the sidewalk, or nothing really on the street, really. I think sidewalks at 7 feet or something like that.
Sidewalks
Nothing
at
on the
7 feet,
street.
There's nothing on the street. Yes.
It's an MS4 violation. It's also a safety for our school bus drivers, our garbage truck drivers. I mean, you run into a big old branch, that can put you through a windshield if you're not seeing it. Can get someone hurt. And or killed, fall down out in the middle of the street too, and gets hit and could hit someone that's standing walking down the side of the road.
Call a question.
Call a question.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli? Yes. Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
Councilperson Naprisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
I believe that Mr. Oh, it's off the printed. Okay.
Mailbox ordinance.
Sorry. Then the noise.
Okay. Ordinance number 18, an ordinance of the City of Portage, Indiana, amending Chapter 42, there's a misspelling in that chapter. Article 2 of the Municipal Code of the City of Portage entitled Noise. Be it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, Ordinance Amendment. Chapter 42, Article 2, Noise should be amended as follows. A, Section 4226, General Definition shall be amended by replacing the definition of residential zones with the following means zones: R1, R2, R3, R4, M1, M2, MP, and CR established in the city by Chapter 90. B, Section 4231, specific restrictions, subsection 5 should be amended by changing the sentence between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. in such a manner to read between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. in such a manner. C, Section 4231, specific restrictions, subsection 6 should be amended by changing the sentence between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. in such a manner to read between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. in such a manner. Let the record show that this is read in its entirety.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Zilli.
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch.
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco.
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto.
Yes.
Councilperson Clem.
Yes.
Councilperson Williams.
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon.
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion?
Can we clarify what the noise is?
Yeah.
What this is referring to?
Sure. So this came from me to the ordinance committee. So the first one clarifies residential zones. Our current ordinance refers old residential zones that we don't have anymore, so that was just a cleanup. The other two refer to use of power equipment by contractors and things like that within residential zones, and it just tightens it up by an hour. This came to me from a couple residents who were adjacent to a field being cleared, and so I think 99% of our contractors don't start before 7 anyway, but the tree contractor was out there at 6 a.m. on a Saturday clearing. They called the police, and the police told them the current ordinance says 6 a.m., and so they were within the ordinance, and we've talked about this at the ordinance committee of 7 a.m. just as a more appropriate time.
So you had to wake up early in your pajamas?
He'll be monitoring it.
I'm up already, but a lot of people aren't. And so this it only impacts that residential area. It would have no impact on commercial zones or industrial zones.
Is it within?
We're up because you got all those little kids.
Exactly, yeah.
So is it within a residential zone or adjacent to a residential zone?
It's within a residential zone.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Let's see, where are we at? Councilperson Lynch.
Yes.
Councilperson Aprisco.
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto.
Yes.
Councilperson Clem.
Yes.
Councilperson Williams.
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon.
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's me. Under introduction to resolutions, we have additional appropriations number 2.
Resolution 18-16, a resolution authorizing temporary interfund loans, whereas the following temporary interfund loans are necessary for the purpose of maintaining cash operating balances in the funds here and named. Now therefore be resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, that the clerk treasurer is hereby authorized to make the following temporary loans. Such loans to be secured by the pledge of revenues to be received, which are not otherwise allocated, and to be repaid on or before December 31st of 2018. Date 6/29/18 to wheel tax from surtax amount $500,000.
Wait, hang on, Mark.
I don't know right here.
I think you're reading the wrong thing.
Okay.
I don't know here. It should be 18- additional appropriation number 2.
I don't have it in my thing.
I think you're reading from another month.
Where is it? I don't know. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's it. What Sue has is it.
Okay. Whereas it has been determined that it's now necessary to appropriate more money than was originally appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, section 1, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, that for the expenses of said municipal corporation, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated in order to set apart of the several funds or fund herein named and for the purposes herein specified. subject to the laws governing. Corporation MVH Fund 201-140-111 MVH salaries, total 100 series increase 100,000. Appropriation number 201-140-211 MVH office supplies, total 200 series increase $100,000. 201-140-311 MVH professional services, total 300 series increase $150,000. Corporation Local Road and Street Fund appropriation number 202-140-233. Appropriation title LRNS Road Materials, total 200 series increase amount $100,000. Corporation Park General Fund appropriation number 204-15351. Appropriation title PNR Gas and Electric, total 300 series increase, $69,824 is the amount. Corporation Edit Fund appropriation number 429-370-364. Appropriation title Edit Paving City, total 300 series increase, amount $722,972.97. Corporation Park Impact Fee Fund appropriation number 214-220-421. Appropriation title PRIMPNR Anna's PG, total 400 series increase $50,000. Passed and adopted by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, 7th day of August 2018. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion?
So I guess I'll just explain real quick what's going on here. MVH, Steve's the squeaky wheel, so he gets the grease. This appropriates $350,000 extra to Steve's department to help him get through the year. Let's see, the local road and street, we're appropriating $100,000 out of carryover from 2017 into 2018 to get Steve through the year. Park and Rec, the state cut the park budget by $69,824. We think they do have sufficient revenues to cover their budget as it was originally approved in 2017. So we're simply reappropriating the money that the state cut. Edit Paving, one of the city's paving contractors had double billed us. They immediately noticed it, refunded us the money, and so we're just putting that money back where it came from. And then finally, Park Impact Fee, Hannah's Hope Playground. Ameriplex Holiday Properties had spent money as part of their development in impact fee specifically for Hannah's Playground, and so we're appropriating that money so the park department can use it on improvements there.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Prisco?
Yes.
Councilperson Modesto?
Yes.
Councilperson Flynn?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Cannon?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Councilperson Lynch?
Yes.
And under, there's no unfinished business. New business?
I have a couple of things I'd like to bring up under new business for appointments for the city council. I'm going to make a motion that Matt Shire is pulled off of the Ethics Commission due to the fact that he's no longer living in the city of Portage. I'd also like to make a recommendation or a motion that Tom Zilli is no longer on the board, the licensing board, and due to his job now, where he's not able to be on time to these meetings. And my motion would be to put Councilperson Lynch in Collins' position for the licensing board.
You made a motion.
Yeah, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Do we get a replacement on the Ethics Commission yet?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've said that, well, I've talked to everybody on there again. And if you have a person, although it's a different party, it's a Democrat, but
they're my friends too.
Huh?
They're my friends too. Look at Sue and I.
Look at John and I, we're best
Been
friends.
friends for a long
If you know any Democrats.
Just so y'all know, we're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. When
Well, as a matter of fact,
2 months ago, they were going at it, and now they're best friends.
Well, that's today.
Yeah.
That's today.
Ask tomorrow.
we have a campfire in the back. Is there any other new business?
I do have a comment I wanted the council to be aware of. As a result of the paving that took place on Samuelson Road obviously turned out very nice. But as that project was taking place, there were a number of vehicles that experienced some damage as a result of the initial, I guess what they call Portland cement that was laid down. So at this point, I have identified who the contact is, who's supposedly looking into resolution, and have forwarded, I think I'm up to 7 different residents that had vehicles that were negatively affected in some way and are asking for some resolution to that contact. And at this point, we haven't got any resolution, but I simply wanted to make the council aware that this damage did occur and that we're trying to address this in a cordial manner to hopefully get these residents some financial recouping of dollars based upon the damage that was done. So just letting you know.
Thank you.
Sue?
I have a question for you, Scott. Were these residents that lived on that street, or were they people that were just decided to use that street? Even
No, they actually had to access their homes off of Samuelson. They either lived on Samuelson or Vienna.
And kind of tell me what was the damage to their vehicles.
Kenny, why don't you talk about I think yours was typical.
Yeah, so there was a 24-hour or 48-hour period where the concrete laminate was laid, and then they took it back up. My son, we just replaced a vehicle that somebody hit him and the vehicle was totaled. So we just replaced it with a 2015 Dodge Ram black truck, unfortunately. So he was waved on by the flagger, and when they were spraying that concrete, his truck was just covered in concrete. So we spent probably 5 hours power washing it, vinegar and warm water, but we got a lot of it off, but it's just got a film, so it just needs to be detailed and buffed out.
Okay.
So
I didn't know what it was.
Pardon me?
I just was wondering what it was.
It's pretty extensive. Most of them are asking for detailing, polishing to hopefully eradicate the problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Who was the contractor?
Reith Riley.
Reith Riley?
Our friend.
New notice to taxpayers advertisement for the 2019 budget.
Motion to second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
So it's that time of the year. We just need to advertise. We'll have a public hearing at our September meeting. The state did 3.4% on the levy increase for 2019. We've got the rest of the estimated revenue numbers from the state. I'll be turning that over to the mayor's office here by tomorrow, and then can start putting together expected expenditures.
On that note, well, let's first, all in favor of advertising the budget?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? On that note, we've gotten a lot of calls, just so you may start getting them as people have opened up their assessed values. And some people have gone up really exponentially. Other people have gone down. And so, we're doing our best to direct people where they need to go, to the assessor's office. I'm assuming, I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I'm assuming it may have been a reassessment year for Portage.
Yes.
Every 4 years there's a reassessment done. So that may have caused the anomaly. Of course, we're letting residents go to appeal if they have a problem with them. I think the main thing to understand is it doesn't necessarily mean people's taxes are going up. It could, but it doesn't necessarily mean that depending on how the entire assessment came in for the entire city. So my personal house went up quite a bit. My rental property actually went down. So it was but my rental property had seen a spike a couple years earlier. So it's just kind of the cyclical nature of everything. I don't get to appeal. I guess I could, but I'd have a problem if I appealed. Because he would never let me through PETA BOA. I'm just kidding.
I couldn't stop that.
You can appeal on the assessor adjusted.
The point is that it's important that everybody knows that, so if you have any questions, you can forward them to us, and we'll try to help everybody. Reception of remonstrances, public input, or any other business. This is a time where we allow people, if they have anything to say, they can come up, state your name and address. Is there anybody here to say anything? Mr. Arroyo.
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Please state your name and address.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is John Arroyo. I live at 2569 Contact. I would like to commend some few individuals here, my councilman, Brad Clem, our assistant chief, Ted Uzelak, also John Soroki, code enforcement. And the mayor knows that I've been having a hard time trying to get somebody to clean up properties right around my home. And they went out and did a yeoman's job. And when they moved that backhoe, man, hallelujah came down. I appreciate all the many, many efforts on behalf of all the many council people, police officials, code enforcement, and everything else. I know it takes time, and sometimes you get frustrated waiting for the time for it to happen. But I spoke to the neighbors, and I let them know. I don't want this, because somebody recounted a story to me about that. I don't want Portage to turn into another Glen Park, or into Brunswick, or into Lake Station. If I wanted to live in Lake Station, or Brunswick, or Glen Park, I'd buy a house. I'd build a house there. But I didn't. I chose to live in Portage. We got a great city, and just as the pastor had prayed to see, we wanted to maintain and continue to be a great city.
That's right.
And we thank for all the efforts of the public officials here. I have something very quickly also here I'd like to read real quick. But once again, thank you. My family thanks you. My wife definitely thanks you. But this coming Saturday on the 11th, they have a sound off. We talked about young children, and we're mindful and we're praying for the ones that were injured and passed away this morning. There's a young lady named David Coral. Her parents live here in the city. She's 3 years old, and she was born completely deaf in her left ear, was diagnosed last May with severe hearing loss in her right ear, leaving her with only 25% hearing. She's going to have a surgery done at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago, and they recommended implants. Now the parents do have some insurance, but they don't have all the insurance coverage that they have. So therefore, the community has come together, and we're going to do a fundraiser for them, and it's going to be at the American Legion Post 502 right there in South Haven. And it's only $10, and they got salad, spaghetti dinner, garlic bread, and a pop, and water. And my wife made the sauce, so you know it's going to be.
When is that again?
This coming Saturday.
Okay, can you let Amanda know that so we can push it, and then also let her know that for me as well, so I can make sure to get something done.
What time will that start?
It's going to be from 12. It's going to be from 12 to 6.
Thank you.
So 6, yes.
John, thanks for letting us know about that.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
One more, the guy in line there.
Mr. Wellman, how are you?
Any better, I'd feel guilty.
Please state your name and address.
Dan Wellman, 6320 Victory, Portage. Two things I want to talk about, if that's permissible. One real quick, the fireworks situation. I was blown away by how many people wrote to the Voice of the People. It took time to do that. And those of you that know me know I tend to talk. So I talked to a lot of people over the last several weeks. And everybody is against what the situation has become around here. It's just not only dog owners, but just people that want to have their door open and peace and quiet and be able to sleep. I know that we are within or less than the guidelines from the state, so we're at the maximum we can restrict. So the other option is enforcement. I know the police have important things to do, but when it affects this many people of the city, I think this becomes an important issue. That somehow, through spotters or volunteers or whatever, it can be enforced better. Okay. The other thing is about the smoking ordinance. I know it's coming up to the next time, but I just have a real problem with government telling businesses how they can conduct the environment of their business, bars, restaurants, everything. The state came out, gave everybody a choice, people made the choice, and now some people want to say, oops, you made the wrong choice, we're going to give you what the right choice is. Now, I understand there's a problem with secondhand smoke. Everybody knows that. I would say about everybody in this country knows the danger of smoking. And yet, a large percentage, or not a large percentage, but a large number of people still do it. People that work in those businesses, most of them knew that that was going to be there when they started, and they can go somewhere else. But for the people that want to enjoy their habit, and it's legal, I think it should not be touched. People die from secondhand smoke. I bet it doesn't come any close to people that die from drunk driving. And we tried that once before, and it's not going to happen. Banish it. The other thing is in the article, the gal that spoke about how restaurants and bars will open up where it's a 15% increase. It was in South Bend. South Bend is not Portage. It's a college town. It has 2 or 3 colleges in it. It's a different type of people. Portage doesn't have fine restaurant dining in it. And that's because the people that live in Portage wouldn't support it. I think they've tried it. So I think trying to take what they do in another city in a different circumstance and forcing it on the proprietors here is wrong. And if they want to make it non-smoking, they are perfectly within the law to do that, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. So I say leave well enough alone. Don't be meddling in things that should be left up to the people that the state left it up to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.